was you, but you left me alone inside these empty, broken walls. And I can't see it clearly, but it's obvious. I know that you left me alone inside this empty, broken hall. And now you'll be the reason why my soul is tainted. Somebody help me, 'cause I'm feeling trapped and I don't know what to do. There's no one to save me from this hurt I feel deep within my bones. Did you ever think of me and see the things I did? Sold my soul and everything, I was to the lowest bid. Crawled into your poison dome, yet every single time you got into my mind, you got into my mind. But all I ever wanted was you. But you left me alone inside these empty, broken walls. And I can't see it clearly, but it's obvious. I know that you left me alone inside this empty, broken hall. And now you'll be the reason why my soul is tainted. So how can I fix this? 'Cause I need to stop the aching in my head. My heart is breaking. Yeah, I'm tired of being stuck in the past. Did you ever think of me and see the things I did? Sold my soul and everything, I was to the lowest bid. Crawled into your poison dome, yet every single time you got into my mind, you got into my mind. But all I ever wanted was you. But you left me alone inside these empty, broken walls. And I can't see it clearly, but it's obvious. I know that you left me alone inside this empty, broken hall. And now you'll be the reason why my soul is tainted. The reason why my soul is tainted. You're the reason why my soul is tainted. You're the reason why my soul is tainted. You're the reason why my soul is tainted. I know you're holding out on me. The puzzle's incomplete. So tired of solving mysteries. Just give me what I need.
Why do you guys expect that I talk just because my mouth opens? Let me do some bad singing in between. Good morning, chat. Hello, hello, hello. Good morning. How are you guys doing? Hope you have had a good time. Hello. I am a little bit late because I actually slept. I actually did not hear my alarm. And then I had to do some stuff. Well, happens. Yeah, it is actually amazing. I slept, I can't believe it. So, model. There we go. What is the name of that music? Tainted from Red Revision. Not 3 word name. Hello, welcome to the Red Pandas. Thank you. Oh yeah, we have to rename that too. Oh well, gonna happen someone. You doing subscriber account reviews? Probably. It is really funny I am more tired than I was yesterday. How to get your account reviewed? You join the Discord. And then be online when I pick you. What do we do? We skip Cecilia, so Ellen. And Ellen is happy. Fantastic. I have my review in the free one. Should I plan this up one? If you want priority, yes. You can just move it over and delete your old entry. So, area patrol. Okay, store check-in. Take a photo. Okay, we can do that. Yo, Triff Normally, hello. A picture. Insane. Damn. QV actually also went to sleep today. Insane. So what do we farm today? Good for him? Yep. Wrong button. Oh yeah, we also have a new deadly assault in like 2 days. Well, we can do that a little bit later. Okay, so we do have the controller. I think we can actually craft 5. I think we need 33. Yeah, that we can do differently, that's fine. And W engine, sure. So that's what we're gonna spend stuff on. You've been killing it with your niche topic recently. Explain attack percent versus critter and crit damage and nuance topic like standards 1 12 and defensive skills. Well, not everybody likes that. There are actually quite a few people who did not like that. It's like, I don't like making these kind of videos. But account reviews show me that apparently I have to. What's up, Riff? I've been meaning to ask, what non-gacha games do you like? Well, the question is less what I like, but more like what I have time to play. I have been playing World of Warcraft for a very long time. Otherwise, League of Legends. Mostly these. You'll wait until it perms. Oh yeah, YouTube sometimes takes like an hour until it syncs. It's a little bit annoying. I mean, it's less about me being busy, it's more about having the full-time job next to it just doesn't leave time for anything. That's kind of the problem here. If the full-time job wasn't a thing, you know, that would have been much easier. But unfortunately it is a thing. Okay, I don't edit my own videos, right? I have my editing team for that. But it is still a lot of time that goes into these videos. Cisia is probably the shortest one I've done since like a year. But there really is not much I feel like I can talk about. On top of being a little bit burned out and you know, on top of being burned out, and I arguably also have NTE, which I have to start somewhere soon, and that shit is gonna be 2 weeks of no sleep. Do you stream before you go to work? Yes. I get up at, well, assuming that I actually hear my alarm, I get up at midnight. I go to sleep at like 4:30 or 5 PM after work. Then I get up at midnight. And then, yeah, well, I stream until like 5:30, 6 AM. And then I go to work. Well, that is also only assuming that I don't have anything else to do, which is also basically never working out. I basically never can up and just go stream. That just doesn't, it's not a thing. You excited for this year guide? I really hope that people are not disappointed that it's not on the same level as like Nangong Yu. I really hope, but I don't fucking know what to say about her, if I'm being honest. And on top of that, there are probably, like, I could have went into the different playstyles, but man, there's no way currently. It's the nichest agent who ever niched. Yeah, but I mean, you know, you could cover still the difference between like hyper carry and like sub DPS. The thing is just, it's really nothing new. Ben's review set new standards. I mean, Ben's review was, the Ben guide was arguably the same as Lucia's, right? So the new guide quality, if you want to call it like that, started kind of with like Lucia. But you have to keep in mind, and I really hate that it is that way, right? But you have to keep in mind, there's always, as a content creator, you always have to keep in mind how much time do you put into one of these guides versus how much does it return. And I don't only mean in return, like, the return value in terms of money or something. I actually mean how much time do I put in versus how many people are interested in it versus how much does it burn me out. So some, well, not some, most guides take me like 200 hours in total, right? That is basically a shit ton of time. I mean, it's not just me, it's like also the editing team, right? It's like 3 days of editing, 2 to 3 days. Then you have possibly like 2 and 3D animations. I myself take about 16 hours to write the script. And I do about 1,700 Deadly Assault runs. Plus minus. Usually more minus than plus. So I spent like an entire weekend, 40 hours straight, without sleep, without eating, just doing Deadly Assault runs. And that shit burns me out. I like it, I enjoy it, but it still burns me out. And for an agent like Sisia, who I personally just do not expect to get basically any views, I'm sorry, I'm not gonna burn me out while I already have to burn myself out like in 2 weeks when NTE comes around. I'm just not gonna do that. So it's gonna have all of the calculations, everything you need, right? 1000 DA runs? I mean, usually it's more like 1500 up to 1700. 1000 is on the lower side. But there's a lot of stuff that you want to test, right? And if you only do like, I don't know, 10, 20, 50 runs, you don't get a good understanding of the of how you want to play the agent. And even then, even after 1000 runs, there will be somebody else in this world who is gonna find something better. Alright, and if I compare, for example, my first Adia runs, the first 20 to 50 runs versus my last runs, there's a huge difference. There's a huge difference. So my first Adia runs have been like 44 to 48k, and then after like 20 to 50 runs, I basically was always at like 63k. And then it's just a question of how do I get the 65k the most consistently. So is it worth spending the time to do thousands on agents? Yeah. Because, I mean, it depends, right? I personally expected Adia to do much better than she did. So, in my mind, it was like, okay, I want to try to get the best results possible. And then I can attempt to get the best results possible. And then it's gonna be worth it, right? Because If I put in more time and then also just simply has a better return, that feels worth it. But if something like Jetty, why do you think I skipped the Jetty guide? First of all, nothing changed, and secondly, that agent is such a fucking dead unit, nobody gives a shit about her. I'm sorry to frame it that way, but as a content creator, it is just not worth it to spend 10, 20, 30 hours on a rerun guide, plus editing, plus paying editors, plus whatever, for like 5,000 views. Unless you are like starting new, right? And if you also have like, you want to do streaming, you maybe possibly have to prepare other guides, you know, other rerun guides, you have a main guide you want to prepare, you maybe have another video, you also have a fucking full-time job, you only have a certain amount of time you can dedicate to that, right? And if absolutely nothing changed, but oh, Lycon is now, was before the best thing and now it's the even better, like, that just is not worth the burnout. That's unfortunately just how it is. And some people may disagree with that. And that is okay, right? I do not need to convince people that my mental health is more important to me than anything else. I just do not. So, either people accept it or they don't. Like, it is what it is. Actually, we're doing a quick news run. Mental health is a source as many others. Is it has value? Sure. But not everybody wants to accept that. And that is also okay. I don't need everybody to accept it. Right? It does not matter. Do we go for snap? I think we do. Except that I'm gonna change this one to pen ratio. Have you tried the new event? No, not yet. We go with this. I think we go with this. 3663 2. Very crit damage. That tech here is really good. I don't want to give that one up. I think we can go down on crit damage. Yeah, that is better. Triple anomaly? Well, that's not an anomaly. Yeah, I'll say it, high. No, it's really just, I don't know how to describe it. There's no game sound? Yes, that is intended. I do not want game sound right now. I got scammed out of my assist follow-up. Oh my god. Yo, good morning, Jetty. A flaming wheelchair being pushed? That's not a wheelchair. The wheelchair is the Bernice. But yeah, I also have to do the hot pot somewhere. Yo, Turf Anomaly, thank you. Have a good one. He's the flame part. Oh, fair. Oh no! I did not get this done here. Okay, we restart. Okay, we do game sound now. Doing the parries without is a little bit hard. Have you thought of the banner review format? You could give thoughts. Yeah, I have actually a lot of ideas of what I want to do. But, that's the way I want to mirror myself. There we go. I need to first quit my full-time job. Right. As it looks like my notice period is gonna be shortened a bit, so it would be end of June, and after June, when I have, you know, not like the full-time job behind it, I hope that I can do all of the content that I want to do, but, you know. We have to see. Does user M1 give her the chain? No, it's M2. They're just going... Oh, shit. Oh, not like that. Where are my parries? Oh, my. Reviews are locked for the night. I have not decided on anything. I have really not decided on anything yet for any reviews or something whatsoever. I do love this team. It feels so nice. Do you have any hopes for 3.0? No, not really. Not yet, at least. Oh shit, I forgot to parry. Oops. Nobody saw anything. Nekomata unlock potential? Okay, yeah, that would be really nice. I would agree on that. You want that so much, yeah, for an M4? Hell yeah. Oops, that was not what I wanted to do, but it's fine. Actually, I don't think we can kill, goddammit. No! 0.1% HP! No! My kill? Are you shitting me? 9 points? 9 points? The 1%? That's less than 1%. That's not even the Pocky curse. That's less than that. That is less than that. Also, we're using the Rupture buff. Anyway. Any Mindscapes on the Gong? Yes. Without, if you do this team full M0, you can expect around 40k, 40 to 45k, depending on how you play. Yeah. AP, right? Like... You can just on-peel Gong here, which is really nice. One more chain. You want your M1 Bernice to shine? Well, build her crit, no, yeah, you just need Nangong Yu, as dumb as it is. As dumb as it is. Just get Nangong Yu. Can do full chains, nice. Look at the crits. Actually, the crits with 500k are not that high. My assist follow-up! Holy, why do I get scammed out of my assist follow-up so much? Nobody saw that. Nothing happened. Look at those numbers! Yeah, all those red numbers feel so nice. I love red numbers. Can we kill? Could be pretty close. Could be pretty close. Kind of random question. Did you ever play the Diota? Good question. You ask me things. I don't know. We cannot. I parry too much. Damn, it's gotta. Yeah. With Critneys, it's never worth holding basic. No, because you don't want the potentials. You deactivate the potentials. The potentials are worse. I think we actually are probably better off not running Snap, but whatever. Arguably, I want to use my ultimate earlier, so I have to parry more on Critneys. You also want the burn applied a little bit earlier. Let's change the opening a little bit. And try to parry more on Bernice. Open with the ultimate. So that we can... well, not that one. Oh, why do you go into your shitty face thing? My god. I want to open with ultimates with a 30% combat attack buff, but we need that during stun because it's like half of her damage. Stop parrying my 1 damage! Oh my. Like, this is the problem, right? Because right now I cannot open the stun with my ultimate. The racing game, asking because the manual chain reminded me of that. Yeah, I don't play racing games, so unfortunately I cannot answer you that, sorry. God damn it. One more parry is what I would have needed. We grind the kill, and after the kill we are doing account reviews. You're just gonna... Yeah, we do have the burn. Why do I get scammed out of my assist follow-up so often? Oh my. Okay, we're gonna ult here and hope that this is worth it. We will see. It might not be. It might not be actually worth it. We also probably shouldn't stun this quickly. Stunning this quickly might be a problem. Did the priest get stunned by the corruption in the middle? Yeah. There are a few problems you can have on various occasions. Well, you can interrupt a lot of shit, unfortunately. Yo, Philode, hello, hello. Let's go all in here. One more here. Refresh this. One parry, ult to get rid of the shield, or at least a little bit, that is. Oh. Oops. I didn't realize we already interrupted in between. Well, that might actually... Can we get the full ult off? I think we can. Nice. 5 million disorder. Very nice. We only need one more stun, and then we should be good. Interrupt this one, because it costs us time. And then we can stun again. Okay, that was actually a good idea to use the ultimate early there. Question is if we can kill. Might not be. We might not. No, we cannot. God damn it. Such a close thing again. Oh, no, but we're always just a little bit short. I wonder if... doesn't really matter if we parry a lot or not. Like, it's always a little bit short, but I feel like the more we parry, the worse. The thing is... we kinda do want the pen ratio. That is much better. We do have the crit rate. We could use a little bit more crit damage, but... I mean, we can gamble. What if we gamble? Could also see if we can find a better branch and blade somewhere. Not branch and blade, a better Astral Voice. Fortunately, I don't think so. I mean, this is good. These two are the weakest parts. But we are not gonna get something better. That is a death main stat, damn it. How do my branch and blade, Puffer, Astral, Inferno? These are all not that ideal, unfortunately. The pen ratio discs here are neither. Those are basically the same, except this has like 2 bad rolls. I mean, the one fire disc here we have is really good, but I think it is performing worse. Yes, Nangong is using Faithens. I have good woodpecker pieces for that, but don't want to use ER, that is gonna kill our damage. That one is good, that one is good, that one is good. All of this just looks pretty good. I'm sorry, there's like not much more we can improve except for this disc. But going for the fire damage bonus is probably gonna be worse. Only thing we can do is switch this one for that one. And see if this one is better. It's 20% more crit damage. It's 100 less attack. And we now have 8% pen ratio rather than 32. I don't know. It's hard to say which one is better. Arguably the pen ratio one should be better. But if we do this, we want to change our... Bang Boo. Do we go for biggest fan? We might. We would need it at R3 though. P-Lion doesn't really help us. Rocket Boo, I guess. I hope that shit works. Can only attempt Rocket Bear. So, we start off on Nangong, yeah. For the 25% damage bonus, right? I mean, we could scam a little bit. But, well. So, that way we do proc the corruption first, which is good. Can just on-field her here. We get an early stun. Let's charge this. No. So, how does this one look? It is less. It is a lot less damage. What are these damage numbers? Critneys. That is Critneys for you. A lot of damage numbers. Feels good. Da -da -da -da. It's a little bit unfortunate that we get the ultimate late here. M0? No, definitely not M0. But in your heart she can be. Okay, refresh right now here. Critney's moment. Critney's moment! We love Critney's moments. And now we just charge our EX. Critney's gameplay. But the damage numbers are actually on the lower side right now. The pen ratio is much better, the pen ratio build. Not even close, actually. Hey, let me dodge! Oh my god. Talk about bad gameplay. Okay, we are gonna ult here. It doesn't really matter. Just get some more damage in. We are not gonna get another stun anyway. We're not gonna get another stun anyway. It's actually insane how much worse this build is. Actually, is it that much worse? It is worse, that's for sure, but quite a bit worse actually. We still have 2 HP bars left. Interesting. Okay, we are gonna switch back to the pen ratio build. Going from nearly 500k per afterburn to 400k, 350k is a big loss. That we cannot do. Okay, so we do go back to the wars one here. Well, wars substats, but I mean, in the end, we do have the pen ratio. Not this one, this one. I do wonder if we can just switch this one for... Lose a little bit of crit rate. Get more attack. And then we go for this one here. Or what we could also do, wait, do I have a good slot 3 puffer? I do. Okay, so we go for Puffer here, and we switch to this one here. 30, 855, 33. That is better. Could also gamble our crit rate. I kind of feel like not gambling the crit rate. Actually, I think we'd go with this one. 40, 155, 33. Yeah, we go with this one. Yo, hello. Whose account is this? That's mine. That is mine. Hello, Dragon. Hello, 60. So let's open up here. Small. Parry here. Ignore that. One parry here. Small refresh for the burn so that we can get that in time. One more chain for the energy. Start off with ult. Where can you find the lyrics? They should be on Spotify. Uh, 462k crits, okay. Do, 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 do. Dum bum ba. Actually, this might be bad to skip out on this. I think that fucks our rotation quite a bit. Yeah, no. We do need the stun here. Before. We do need the stun before. So we start off with the EX, I guess. So we just go into basics here. One parry here. That way we can proc the corruption before the burn procs. There we go. We can get one more chain in right now. Oh no. That was unfortunate. I also had Bernice ultimate ready, but I didn't notice. You are not moving today, my friend. Okay, we do need the chain first, otherwise we don't have the decibels, unfortunately. Okay, full charge here. Da, 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 da. I wonder if we should delay the ultimate here, but I think we don't need to. We could have gotten 3 stuns before the phase. That would have been really nice. Oh, crap. That's okay, we do get it now. Little bit of EX to not waste the off-field energy here. Back to Bernice, full charge. We can get one more stun, I think. Should be pretty fine. I actually wonder if... Yeah, we do go for Nangong chain here for the days. It's better. How much nitro fuel has that Bernice chucked? A lot. And then into ult. And there's the kill. Yippee! Okay. Bum, 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 bum. We are good. Means we can do account reviews. The goal has been accomplished. The goal has been accomplished. That's like, yeah, the one the one thing we have to do on every stream. Every time the stream starts, we first have to we first have to get a kill with Critneys, otherwise we cannot proceed. Is Salt status very on fire? Yeah. Builds? Sure. Arguably, we could have... Oh yeah, right. We actually could have been... Oh no, we already had. Okay, yeah. So, Thought Bob on Yuzua. It was like, actually, we should have went with Thought Bob on Yuzua, but we already had. Never mind then. Yeah, just like, you know, random whatever. A little bit crit-based. A little bit AP. Nearly 3k attack, close enough. M2. For the chains. Everything maxed but dodge. Then Nangong 360, 2275, 211. Everything but dodge maxed. We're running pen ratio on her when we play with Critneys, right? Because Critneys gives 20% pen ratio to the team. So we do want that one. Sick. I am here. M2. And Bernice. Well, M6, because otherwise you don't play Critneys. Well, M4 plus. M4 is the only thing that matters. 99% crit rate, 155 crit damage, 3.3k attack. Everything max but dodge. Yeah, that's it. That is the build. Those are the build. Oh yeah, W5. Because if you don't have W5, you're doing something wrong. You have to give up your life. Right. This will also give you 70% damage bonus. So, you know, it's good. You also get like the 100 AP, by the way, which is really nice for Critneys as well. Especially if you play like with Nangong. You have a pretty good base for anomaly damage with this. Even though you are like fully invested into crit. The M2 gives the entire team 20% pen, right? Pen ratio. So this is 52%. Then Nangong Yu, we are also running on pen here because of that. It's a nice build. Works nice. The only important part is you do not want this one. You disable this. Because you are never gonna have this part active anyway. no AM, no damage bonus, so this part is basically 0 always. And this part is actually a problem, because if you have noticed during the run, in between every stun, we always, like, the moment where we opened stun, our heat was very low. And if you have this active, you are burning through your heat 10% faster. These 10% are absolutely massive. And you do not have enough energy, which means that you are gonna leave the nitro fuel state in between, especially during intermissions, like, especially during intermissions. And, like, you know, with Priest when the shield is up. And that is actually a really big problem. Because if you... So, just to make sure that everybody understands how crit knees works, right? You do absolutely... Let's just do, like, one quick thing here. Just so people understand how to play off-field crit knees. You can on-field crit knees. They are on-field teams. I just think they are much worse than off-field teams. But basically, look at how I use her EX special, right? I do use her chain because I want the burn build up, and now I just stay on Nangong. I don't do anything. Look at the heat she has. Look at how I use my energy on her, right? I don't use her energy. We are just accumulating energy. We stun here, and now we use all her energy during stun, right? So, we use our ultimate, we wait for this part, look, 1.7 million in bloom, and now what we do is we hold our EX special and look at those numbers, right? That is basically how you play this. You just want to have basically as much energy as you can during stun. The problem is if you burn too quickly, like look at the energy she has right now. The heat, right? Only look at the heat. This part over here, right? The bar. We don't want to use it. So, look, we are basically out of heat. And now we just hold our EX special to basically just do all the damage we can right now. That is all you need to do for crit knees. I fucked that one up, but, you know, if you... I fucked that one up. But, point being is, if you have her potential active, you will run out of heat in between, like, before each stun window, which would mean that you have to use your EX special outside of stun, which also means you lose a shit ton of damage. I hope that makes sense. That is why for crit knees, at least on like off-field crit knees specifically, you never want to have her potential active. For off-field crit knees, for on-field crit knees, you can do that. On-field crit knees, the way on-field crit knees basically works is that you have inactive attackers in your team. So that the inactive attackers, such as Trigger, for example, or also Astra's Tremolo, are gonna trigger the afterburns. Because you're on-fielding her, you have more energy available, because, well, her basics and stuff are generating energy. And because of that, you can also use her EX special on field, which means that you technically can run energy regeneration here. And not only technically, you probably should. Because otherwise you are just gonna run out. The problem is if you do that, and if you run ER here, your damage goes down a lot. Right? So that is the problem you have for crit knees. And that is why I personally prefer the off-field one. I think it is much, much stronger. But you do not want to have her potential. It's just, none of this actually does anything. The blooms don't really matter. It's just a damage loss. This is only for crit knees? Yes, that is only for crit knees. For anomaly knees, you want it active. There's a big difference between anomaly knees and crit knees, also in playstyle. Which is, in my opinion, really, really cool. That you have, like, a character who can play so differently. But yeah, for crit knees specifically, you know, just don't have the potentials. And if you want to play crit knees, you can make it work at M0. That works. Absolutely no worries. However, it is much better and much easier to play if you have the M4. The way the M4 works is pretty simple. Your EX special now lasts for 4 seconds instead of 3 seconds. So, you know, just more red numbers on screen. This part doesn't really matter, but this part matters. Her aftershocks, not the aftershocks, the afterburns are considered assist attacks. And her EX special, well, so basically her EX special and her afterburns now have 30% increased crit rate. Because of that, if you have the crit rate here, right, 41% plus 30 is 71%, plus 28 from Inferno Metal, which you can easily maintain because of Yuzua, and her chain attack build-up, you are at 99% crit rate. That means you cap out at 42% crit rate, you already have 100%, which means you can allocate all of your other stats into crit damage and attack. If you don't have this, you need to run Yuzua on Game Ball, and arguably you can do that. You can run Yuzua on Game Ball versus like Fire Weak enemies, and I would also recommend that, and then you can go down as low as 21% crit rate here. So the M4 is an incredible power spike for Critney simply because it makes her so much easier to build. And there is a disgustingly large difference between critting with her afterburns and not critting. It's like 500,000 damage, you know, 500k damage for per crit versus like 120,000 if you don't crit. And if you do like 500,000 damage every 1.5 seconds, you know, 180, that is 120, right? If you divide that times 500,000, that is 60 million damage only her afterburns do. Keep in mind how much HP these bosses have, right? Most of them don't have 300,000 HP. Most of them, like Marionettes, has 170 million. Priest has, I don't know how much Priest has, 150 million. Like, a third of the entire HP bar just goes away by existing. That is basically how Critney's works. And that is also why Critney's, if you aim for only like 20,000 points, Critney's is really nice, because the only thing she needs to do is exist in your team. You are just gonna deal a lot of damage passively. Of course, you want to have like a good build and stuff, right? The main problem she has is building her, because in the end you... First of all, you want ideally have some Mindscapes, just because it makes building her easier. But even without Mindscape, it's fine. The main problem is that you want a 4-piece Inferno Metal. Who the fuck is gonna farm this, right? That's it, basically. Like, you need Inferno Metal. And ideally, you also want Yuzua. You can also do Lighter. Lighter is also really good. Lighter or Yuzua both work. I personally prefer Yuzua. First of all, I don't have Lighter, but that's a different thing. I do prefer Yuzua. Mainly because, to be fair, her M2 does a lot here, right? Because the additional chain attack is really good. Inferno is the same disc zone as Puffer, yeah. But most people don't want Inferno, they only want Puffer. And I would agree with that. You are, for, like, there are not many characters who really want to run Inferno Metal. You can do some fun meme builds, but that's not necessarily good, right? What you ideally want to do is, you go to Elfies and you pull for Puffer Electro sets, rather than farm this domain. You can farm this domain, but you really want... Like, when do you want to farm this domain? You are like a Critney's main. That's kinda it. Right? Arguably, at least the set is not completely useless, but, you know... Like, at least compared to, like, Tower and Cannon, you have, like, I don't fucking know what this is, why this is even in the game. Does Bernice work with Vivi? Yeah, she does. She can also proc a Bloom twice, which is really good. Can show you quickly. And Bernice Vivian is somewhat similar to Hyper Vivian. in the way of how you want to play that. So, we now have 5, right? Usually when you cast your EX special, you are gonna consume 1. Right? You're gonna consume 1 feather. However, you can cast her EX special twice, which means that you can trigger 2 blooms at 1, and now I will also apply, to be fair, the anomaly, so it's like 3, right? But EX, you can just double proc the bloom. You can completely go crazy with that, and burn through that extremely fast. You see? You can just completely burn through her stacks. So, with Vivian, you don't want to hold the X, you just want to press it, like double press. Because it has 2 procs to it. One time the initial cast and one time the ending cast. And you're gonna just burn through all of her resources within like a matter of 1 second. If you do it right, it's really funny with Yuzua. Yuzua Bernice, if you go Yuzua build up into Vivian and Bernice, what you can do is you can basically off-field proc the burn, on-field proc the anomaly, and double cast the EX on her, and you are gonna spend all 5 feathers, all 5 Vivian feathers within 0.5 seconds. You just get 5 blooms at once, basically. That is honestly a pretty big problem for that team, because you cannot keep up. It's basically impossible to keep up with the amount of feathers you spend. Even at like M1, M2, if you have the additional feather generation. It was M1, right? Yeah, even with this, you cannot keep up. Bernice has the fastest way to burn through this. Even faster than Piper, because Piper's animations are pretty long compared to Bernice here. I personally don't like the team, but it works. Also, we have to switch back this thing. Here. The Faith. And we want the 500 AP, right? But yeah, I love Crit Knees. Crit Knees is great. Anomaly Knees is honestly, with Nangong Yu, I think Anomaly Knees is more fun to play. Because you actually have to think quite a lot. But it's also really easy to fuck it up. And it also depends on which boss you play against. You want to change it, whether you want 2 or 3 blooms during stun. But yeah, it's nice. If you... I'm still tilted about this. But I will be real, I'm gonna leave it at this. This is just like a perfect score. It is just perfect. Okay, so, chat. Let's do an account review. So, for the people who might have not been here yesterday. We have had to close down the free queue because look how many people there are. Right? Look how many people there are who are still waiting for the account review. We have to burn through them. On the weekend, we are gonna make 2 longer streams. And we are gonna burn through all of them. Okay, not all of them. That is not gonna work. But we are gonna burn through a lot of the free ones, right? So on Friday or Saturday, or both, we are not really gonna do a lot of the sub reviews. We are gonna focus on the free reviews. And we're gonna burn through them so that we can open it up again. Because every time I do like 1 account review, there are like 2, 3, or 4 new account reviews free coming in. I just cannot, right? I just cannot. So, at least for now, we are gonna focus on the sub ones. Moonfire Art, are you here? You've been waiting, well, for a while, but you also haven't been here like the last 2 days or something. But I saw you in chat before. I did see you in chat before. You are here. Great. If you want your account review, then please DM me your login data. Change your password before you do. Change your password after the account review. Use spoiler tags, and then we are gonna do you. And we are gonna do you first up. And in the meantime, I'm gonna go and hit the toilet for a second. So, see you in a second.
You seem to know something I don't. What's going on? Can you tell me what it is, please? I'm not that slow like you think. Strange vibrations in the room and I can feel it. I'm a hurricane, I'm bringing thunder.
Stairs, so this chat's fake. Oh. Look at that. Look at how many boyfriends I have in chat. Alright, so Moonfire Art, let's go. So. Look into another account. This is what I wanted to do. Yep, I got the credentials. So verification code, please. Thank you. Yo, what's up, Variant? By the way, it was insanely based to get Ben Bigger's voice actor on your video. Okay, it was Ben Bigger himself who got to me. Right, it was really funny because we have been streaming and we got raided by Ben Bigger. And I was like, oh shit, that is Ben Bigger. Well, actually, I didn't know it was Ben Bigger. But, I was told pretty quickly by chat that it was the one Ben. So, yeah, that is what happened. And then I just straight up asked him, yo, want a voice? And he just said yes. Incredibly base guy, highly recommend, 10 out of 10. He's great. Please delete your login data from Discord, Moonfire, thank you. What's the difference in damage between Trigger Engine and R3 Restrained? The team damage is pretty different because, well, 25% team-wide death threat is pretty insane, right? So, we are in! I have bad news for you. Your membership is running out today. So... So, chat. By the way, Lixie, are you here? Can you check the Rips archive channel? And, well, actually we have to rename it in extra review anyway. And talk with Mars about the shorts thingy. Just before I forget. I wrote that like yesterday or something, I forgot. Somewhere in there. Okay, that being said, Moonfire Art, let's go, let's have a look. So. You have 3 ether batteries and not a lot of polychromes. You do have some money. You are pretty broke, in fact, actually. How do your bangles look like? You have R4 fan, alright. You have R1 Lion. Okay, so what I would recommend you before you max out like biggest fan or something, I would get an R3 Lion. Because that is true for like all of these, right? Ideally, for all of the 2.x bang boosts, they have a faction restriction. When there are X or more Yunqui Summit or, you know, Krampus Alliance or whatever characters in here, you know, also for Mercury, 2 Defense Force, all of that. If you get them to R3, this restriction goes down to 1. That is like the one thing that is true for all of the 2.x characters outside of, not characters, bang boosts. Outside of Sprout, because Sprout is literally just, do you have Yishongguang? But it allows for much easier team building. So I would recommend you, rather than R5ing them first, just get them to R3 so that the restriction here goes down to 1, right? As you can see. That allows for much easier team building. So for example, when you want to do like a Nangang U team without Sona, which you need for a few characters, so for example, Jane, Bernice, possibly Yanagi, Grace. Well, Grace actually is a different problem. Not Grace. But for all of these characters, you want to have a Yuzua in the team for the build-up. So means you want to use Yuzua plus character plus Nangang Yu. Means you only have 1 Angels of Delusion, and that makes this bang like the Fanbu pretty fine. And 100 combat attack is, by the way, not a lot, but depending on the team, it can be okay. It really depends a lot on the team, right? If you don't run double support, so like Yuzua Suna, for example, and you have a low amount of base attack, this one becomes better. There are a lot of people who run around with like 2200 attack on their Miyabi, or 2400 attack, which is not a lot. And in that case, running biggest fan can actually be better than running something else. If you have Vivian, you want to get Robin to R5, and this is just really good for any Yunqui Summit character, like for example Yijuan. The best Yijuan team is with Lucia and Dialin, which means, well, Lucia is Spookshack, and Dialin is Krampus, which means that you do not get this additional ability, which just is, you know, less damage and also reduces the cooldown. And because you reduce the cooldown, you get less days. You get more days from reducing it, but that also means you really want to have this additional ability active. And to have this one active, well, you know, you want to have at least at R3. So just a small thingy here. If you... The problem with Snap is that Snap is never gonna be the best choice, but he's also never gonna be the worst choice. So Snap is like the one solution to everything. It's just never a good solution, if that makes sense. So if you are unsure on what Bangbu to run, you can always run Snap. However, Snap is pretty inconsistent, right? So you don't need the additional ability. It doesn't matter. What matters is this part, which gives you like it's on a 20-second cooldown. So 50% of the time, you are gonna have a damage increase for 10% at R5. But yeah, I would not recommend Snap, but if you're unsure, you can do it. Berkblick is also pretty good, right? That's also something I could recommend. So Berkblick R3, Beelion R3, Fan R3, Mercury R3 if you play Orphe. That's basically it. Do you play Orphe? Yes, run Mercury. Do you not play Orphe and play another fire character? Run Rocket Boo. There's also something about Biggest Fan, by the way. This guy doesn't deal damage. So you can leave him at level 1. You don't have to level him. It doesn't matter. He doesn't, like, he restores HP. You don't care about that. So you can save all of your resources here. Just get him to R5 and leave him at level 1. And you can use him. So he is a pretty cheap investment, if that makes sense. Red Mokos is really good if you play Critney's lighter Yuzua. Okay, Red Mokos has another problem, but let's talk about that someone else. Alright, you have 10,000 fading signals. Well, nearly 11k. I mean, I leveled him too, just because, you know, I like having leveled stuff. And you have a lot of W micro engine controllers. Okay. So, wait, we are gonna talk about this later. You might want to get something here, unless you want to save, right? Who freaking knows what's gonna join or not. So, let's have a look at your Deadly Assault scores for a second. Yo, goodbye, Lixie, goodbye. 45, 38, 38 with a dial-in. Okay. Alright, looks fine. So, you skipped nearly the entire Opal squad, but Seed. Do you plan on going for Sis? Yeah. You do not have Jane, you do not have Jingyi, you do not have Bernice, that is very unfortunate. And you skipped both Banyo and Yetari, okay. And you also skipped Yugo. And you also skipped Ellen, funnily enough, but I mean, Miyabi exists, so I guess it's fine. You plan on Sis, yeah, alright. You have at 4, and she's built, okay. Oh, you actually got Heartstring Nocturne for her. Nice. You do have Cordis, and you have 2 Brimstones. That looks all pretty solid. Do you have any Mindscapes? You said you go for M2 for a lot of... Oh, M6 Nango. Well. M0 Adia, M0 Sona, M1 Dialin, M0 Lucia, M1 here, M1 here, M1 here. So M2 you run alright. I take it back. We do have to do a Deadly Assault run probably. Oh, M2 Seed. Sure. M3 Neko. He's not built. Okay. And you have everything built up until Nicole. Okay. M6 Nangang. Okay, so we do have to do one thing. I want to do a run with M6 Nangang. I have not done that. I have not done an M6 Nangang run yet. So we're gonna do one. That is the great thing about using other people's account. I can play other stuff. Da-da. Why did the rankings mix up on the internet website? Because we changed some stuff. Bum ba da da. Do do do. Dum bum 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 bum. We changed some stuff. We have to repoll a lot of the... Holy fuck, the days is insane. What the actual frick? Holy shit, is the days insane. Damn. God damn, is this ridiculous? The days increase is fucking insane. Damn it. Damn. I can't even concentrate on the combat. I'm just so surprised at how fast this stuns. Damn. The boss does not play, no. The fuck is that days at M6? Okay, you might have convinced me to pill for M6 Nangang Yu. The fuck is this? I don't even have to try anything here. You actually can easily 65k this if you, You actually can easily 65k this if you take care about anything. I have no idea what the fuck I just did. I just YOLO'd it. Holy shit, is M6 Nangang Yu broken. Oh my fucking god. Yeah, I'm not gonna 65k this now. Okay, you do not have to try with M6 Nangang Yu. Chat, do we pull for M6U? I need something to drink. Oh my god. The hydration. The days, holy shit. Actually, I think it might mess up stuff. Also, if you run attack percent here, it's probably gonna be better. We have... God damn it! Ah. Only takes 4 pulls, true. Bernice won't have resources? Yes, for Bernice I don't think it's gonna be that great. That is a pretty good build though. Like this is probably your weakest piece, and I think the main problem here is that your attack is comparatively low. Yes, well, you probably want to run attack instead of ether damage. Everything else here looks pretty good, but your attack is fine. We have... Yeah, it's W1. Okay. Let's have a look at your skills quickly. Oh, you don't even have it maxed out? Imagine if you have maxed this out. Like 1,000... It goes up by like another 60% here. Alright, so... I would probably recommend you to max these out. To be fair, you're probably gonna stun so fast. I'm not sure if you actually get to use your assist. But, it just makes these two out. Or like all these three and you're good. Like, these two probably actually don't matter that much anymore because the enemy does not play. That is whatever. That is whatever. That is fine. You might want to max this as well if you want to. That is good. I would recommend you for your Lucia to get up your basics a little bit, mainly because of the aftershock damage multiplier, right? The damage multiplier goes up and she's randomly choosing which aftershock she's using, this one or this one or this one. So even though it is not like huge damage, it is a bit, right? So it can easily give you more score. That is okay. Oh, you probably want to do this. Depends on how well you can maintain stuff. But maxing out her EX and ultimate can be really good. The ultimate gives you team more energy. Right? That is also something to keep in mind. That her ultimate gives energy. And the energy goes up with the level. And here the duration goes up. You don't really have to max it, but it can be helpful. And the assist is also probably something I would recommend leveling. Simply because unless you have Nangongyu in your team... you kind of really want days, because you ideally would want 3 stuns, but if you don't level your assist and don't parry effectively, it might be more difficult. That as well. How many... Yeah, please use your hamster cage passes. You have 23, you don't need 23. I know that it's expensive, like in terms of these resources, but keep in mind, every time you click this button here, well, not this one, but like the level one, it is 9.09% more damage for your DPS for that skill. And 6%-ish more days. Same here, right? Get it up. Jufufu really wants all the help she can get in terms of days. You also have M1, by the way, so you have a lot of crit rate here. Way too much, in fact. You possibly can just run crit damage instead. For more damage. There. Run this one. And then you go for attack percent subs. You could also run attack percent if you want to in the main stat. Depends. Oh, wait. Okay, let's use this one. 53-2-1-9. You have another... You can go down on crit rate. You don't need that much crit rate. That is also really good. Can you stop rolling into HP? Just roll into attack. Do you have... Okay, you could run this. That's a good one as well, but you do have the attack here. HP. That would also be a possibility. So her M1 gives a 12% crit rate, so for, you know, King of the Summit, you don't need 50% anymore, you only need 38%. Which means that you can allocate like your crit rate, which you would have, into, for example, crit damage or attack. And that is just gonna be better overall, right? You don't really need like 67-70% here. Yes, you're gonna crit more often, but she has a lot of small multi-hits, so just get more attack or crit damage, depending on whether you want to max out the buff, or if you want to max out the crit damage. Well, her overall damage, her personal damage. You have M2. So for your Yijuan, the M1 is it. The M1 gives you 10% crit rate, which means you are at 75, and then you get 20% here, so you're at 95, and then you get 12% here. Not here, here, 3 times 4%, right? which means that you are overcapping on crit rate right now by 7%. You want to not go above 57% here, well, 58%. So, okay, these pieces are really good, but we want less crit rate. You have too much crit rate. Let's change to this one. The pen is wasted. Well, actually, let's quickly change this back so we can compare before after. You're overcapping on crit rate right now, which is not very ideal. You have this maxed out though, which is good. Crit damage, crit rate. That is fine. I think the main problem really are your electro pieces here. Can we go for Chaotic, Branchen Blade, Shining Aria, Yunkui? This is a really nice piece, but you could run something else instead. If you run this one here, you have a lot of good Shining Aria pieces you could use. Um... 61, 165. That is better. That gives you too much crit rate. I wonder if you are better off changing away from this. This is like insane substats, unfortunately, but you could use it on another character, right? It's not that it is lost. What happens if we do this? Let's check how this looks. 4,871. So now we need a little bit more crit rate again. 5,357. That is worse. $4,870. Yeah, the problem is that your substats on this one are just too good. The substats here are just freaking insane. How can we get down your crit rate? Actually really difficult to go down on crit rate here. You would need a better piece here, I think, if you want to run the Woodpecker one. Or a better piece here with crit damage HP. Less crit rate. This is just such a nice piece. Oh, what if we run this? I mean, that is a lot of HP. Do you have an HP one here? You had, right? Oh, crit damage +4. That's nice, actually. Let's see if we can roll reasonably here. God damn it. Could use this. We could use this one. It just will be so incredibly hard to replace that. This one is not the most important. We would need to steal this one from your mana too. ER, ether damage, attack, AP, HP. You never use Monato? Feel free. Okay. It's just really difficult. Because arguably, like, this is just a better disc, so changing this one makes no sense. This one just has an insane amount of substats. It's gonna be hard to match this. And that one is, well, it's not the wrong, it's a really good piece, just, you know, not for Rupture, and then it's on the wrong set as well. The substats here are just too good. The substats here, you would need basically a Branch and Blade piece, which has the same amount of substats, or similar to it, which you don't have. You're losing out on too many stats here. You're still overcapping on crit rate. I mean, it is better than before, right? You have like 15% more crit damage and you lose absolutely nothing because you are already overcapping. You lose a little bit of sheer force, but it's fine, you know, it's 31 sheer force, who cares? It is better than before, but yeah, it's not really that worth mentioning right now. I'm gonna just note it down for you. Yijuan, max CR, stat sprain, 58%. I think realistically it's 57.2% or something, which you want to reach. I forgot the exact decimal actually, but if you can, basically, just try to get rid of this. Use Branch and Blade instead. You can just use this one, right? That's fine for now. And you would need a good Branch and Blade piece here. That is like the biggest problem you have. How do your pull resources look like? Well, disc pull resources. $45.5. Okay, that is not that worth it right now. Okay. Yeah, something you can consider for your usual one. Otherwise, where have we left off? Yeah, Aria was just... So, for Nangong Yu, I personally would probably recommend you to go with an attack percent one here. Simply because the amount of, like, your attack is not very high. And attack is gonna be better up until you have a lot of attack percent subs, which you frankly do not, right? This is really good, but you would need more attack percent subs, specifically on, like, these three pieces. And here, arguably, as well. Like, the moment ether damage becomes better is if you have, like, 10 to 12 attack percent subs. And even then, it is nearly the same. The only difference is that it's much easier to roll on ether damage sets than attack percent. One advantage you also have for attack percent sets is, you know, on a very generic 2-piece set, like Phaethon's, using attack percent main stat is pretty good. Because you can simply just share it between a lot of different units, regardless of whether they're an ether unit or whatever, right? But yeah. For your Adia, basically the same. I think your Adia is a little bit off better. You are 2.6k, which is fine. So you have a lot better attack here currently. But this is also your weakest piece, so arguably it's the easiest for you to replace. Suna, you are running ER. I usually would recommend to run Impact. However, also you have a lot of attack. You actually can get this down and run more crit rate or anomaly proficiency or whatever. But Because you have an M6 Nangong Yu, and you are always gonna play these these three together, basically. And outside of Arya teams, impact does not really matter that much on Sona. You know, it doesn't really matter. Your Nangong Yu does not... You don't really get to parry or anything on Sona anyway. Because of that, I also don't think it's that important to level these things even further. Zhao, you have 27k, you do have the signature, you're running triple HP, you're still running S-Full Voice, that's just fine. Dialen 100%, you do have Sig, you're running 2-piece Woodpecker. How do your stat bonus 80.6? If you can, get more crit rate. And run 2-piece Swing Jazz instead or something. Moonlight Lullaby or Swing Jazz. Oh, you have a good crit rate piece here. Do you have an ER piece? You do not. Okay, that would be something you could... Oh, Attack on Astra. Okay, that would be something you could consider. Actually, do you have an ER King of the Summit? You do not either. Okay, because you have signature, I think that is for you something you can work on. 2-piece ER. So, Moonlight or Swing Jazz. Yeah, that's it. You know, just go... Try to get a 2-piece ER instead. It is not that difficult to get 100% crit rate if you have her signature on her, right? So, and the 20% ER is gonna help you quite a bit. Lucia. 7-3... Oh, you actually don't reach max buff right now. Can we do that? Okay, that's a great Orphe piece. You surely wanna play Orphe. Okay, great, there we go. 2, 3, 7. Can go for the crit one here. Do we have a double HP? Now let's try this. Oh, hell yeah. There we go. Great. Okay, so now you get the max buff, which is great. You also have more crit values. So that is good if you really want to optimize some other stuff, right? You can do so. I would recommend leveling the basic a little bit, but it's like not the most important one. Optional. Basic to 10. Again, it's just if you have resources left, it's not too important. You also want to max out her EX, because you don't get the max buff currently. EX to 12, that actually should have priority over anything else. Consider doing this. Do not hesitate to spend your hamster cage passes. Do 345, 266. Your attack is really low. Your attack is way too low. Given that you run signature especially. Do you have an attack percent, Phaethons? You probably do want to run Pen because of the M1, which I would arguably agree with. However, you already have one Pen roll here, and you are really low on attack. You are really low on attack. Usually what you want to aim for is, with signature, on Alice, you're looking for 3,000 to 3,200 attack. So you are a lot below that. But you have like 0 attack percent rolls here. Here you have 2. Here you have 3 is 5. Here you have 0. Here you have 0. And here you have 0. So you have 5 attack percent rolls rather than like 12-ish. You do not get other attack percent sources here from her build or whatever. The only other source would be Yuzua, assuming that you play Yuzua and you don't play something else. Like Nicole Jane. So that is pretty lowish, and I would recommend to run this one instead. It is, to be fair, not that big of a difference, but, you know, a small one. And here's the question, if you have another one as well. Okay, that Adia piece would be really good on your LS. You might consider switching this if you want to, right? If you want to play Alice, you're not gonna play them together anyway. Just switch this around and give this one to Alice when you can. What do you mean by 5 AP rolls? It's 3. It's not 5. If it were 5, I would have said, okay, fuck it. I would just run it anyway, regardless of what it's better or not. Right? It doesn't matter. If you get 5 rolled AP, you just run it because, you know, display privileges. But yeah, disc 1, it's +4. But yeah, it's nice, but honestly, I would much rather have a better stat balancing. You actually could really, you have some pieces here you could roll on. Do we have another AM piece here usable? No. Do we have an attack piece here usable? No. Okay. For Alice, get more attack subs. Try to aim for as close to 3000 as you can, right? You can go, I mean, your AP is fine, or more on the good side actually, but try, if you can go down a little bit here to get a little bit more attack, it's fine. Yuzua, you do have signature, so that one is gonna help Alice anyway with the 60 AP, right? 4-1, 152, 3-1. If you want to, like, you know, roll better substats, get more attack percent, run AP here, try to get like 300 AP on Yuzua if you want to. It's not the most important part. You do not play him, you said. Otherwise, that is looking fine though, right? Get more crit damage. That's basically it. Oh, you do run attack percent here. Okay, you do not want to run attack percent here. The subs are nice, but you really do not want to run attack percent. This one might be off better. The biggest difference would be the 5% CR. YSG 52, 10, 3, 3. That is okay. Attack, crit damage. The biggest issue you have is that... No. The biggest issue you have is that you have nearly only 2 effective subs on everything. Right here, no crit damage, no attack percent, no attack percent, no... Okay, you cannot have attack percent here, so those are fine. It's these two which are your main problem, especially this one, I think. Do you have another one you could run somewhere? Oh yeah, you could. You could try level this one. Or even this one, the pen ratio one is also good. Do you have a branch and blade piece here you could run? Yeah, you could do this. Or run this one. And... Wait, let's have a look if we can get good rolls here. Well. So much for that part. Pen ratio. If it would have rolled into AP, it could have been a good 2 off piece for Jane or something. It's really just try to get more substats here at this point, right? You have everything maxed that is important. And at this point, it's really just try to get more. I think this is totally fine otherwise. I mean, it's YSG, she's gonna perform anyway. Yeah, for Fufu, what we have said, level the assist and stuff. I'm just gonna, you know, spend your hamster cages. I'm just gonna, you know, do on whichever characters you play more. That's like also important. If you never play Fufu anymore, like why would you do that, right? For Fufu, more attack percent subs. Or attack percent in slot 4, depending on what you want. Attack percent in slot 4 is gonna give you better buffs. But you will need like the attack percent subs here to make up for it. You can go down on crit rate, otherwise you can run crit damage main stat, simply because, you know, it's a lot more damage. Here as well, we already had that, right? Go down on crit rate, get other stats instead. Doesn't matter if it's like HP or crit damage, just other stats. That character is dead because you have Lucia. 400 AP with her signature. Okay, that is pretty low. You have way too much attack. Use this one. Use this one. Hmm. A piece here? No, you do not. Okay, so the way of how you can play Vivian is pretty simple. You ignore any stat that is not anomaly proficiency. That's basically it. Try, if your attack is like 1000, it wouldn't matter. I mean, it does matter, but you know, try to focus on anomaly proficiency as much as possible. While for your usual anomaly character, you want to have a good balance. Vivian double dips, right? So her anomaly proficiency is gonna, like, her attack only increases her own corruption damage and disorder damage, right? Well, the disorder damage that Alice is gonna do upon the corruption, but anyway, that's the point, right? However, the anomaly proficiency increases both the corruption damage, even if to a lesser degree than attack would right now, but it also increases the bloom damage. And because most blooms are gonna be assault blooms in like Jane teams or Alice teams, the anomaly proficiency is gonna scale more than attack does. Because of that, you can literally have infinite anomaly proficiency. You know, hit like 500, 600 here, and if this one stays at 2.2k or something, it's fine. It is still gonna be better to go into anomaly proficiency. Doesn't mean that attack is useless, but even though something like this looks nicer, this one is just better because you have more AP. It is really that dumb. Just focus on more anomaly proficiency. So this is gonna be a little bit of a funny one because you have like no attack substats on her. You're running Kaboom, which is good, but you really want ER here. This will be pretty impossible to fix right now, unless you want to run this one, and there is no attack percent subs on that. So, oops. For Astra, ER D6, a lot more attack percent subs. Arguably, I would do it the other way around. Focus first on your attack percent subs, and when you have until, well, not that much, until 3,128. When you hit this number in the stat screen, then you can start considering, consider ERD6 after breakpoint, right? Try to get as much attack as you can right now, here, and then afterwards switch to energy regeneration here. That is gonna be really helpful for you. Because right now, you are missing quite a bit on the buff. Like 300 is, I mean, it's not the worst, it's not the end of the world, right? But you get the point. This is good, nothing wasted, just fine. I mean, you don't really need the heal here, so it's just damage days. Mibibi, M2, it was 15%, right? Yeah. So you had 85, you had 97. Do you run AM? You run AM. Okay. You probably want to switch this one away from crit damage and get crit rate or attack percent instead. You could even run AP. You could try running this one. You can go down as low as like 120%. 120, 130% crit damage. You get more than enough from other sources. Your crit rate right now is good. Your attack is fine, but not given that you run what you're currently running. Do you have... What if you do Astral Voice? You have something you could use here, but I mean, this is not the worst either. Hmm. Well, that's nearly the same one, but that has more AP. That has also a good chunk of AP. So what we can do is we could go down here and try to roll on one of these AP pieces. Well, not that one anymore, I guess. Attack percent's up. One more crit rate. Hell yeah. So, and let's switch to like a branch and blade here. That is good. What does your crit rate currently look like? 70, same shit, okay. Or can we switch here? You have an AM piece. Yeah. 70, 114 to 7, but you have a lot more AP. That is good. This is like your weakest piece right now. That gives you more attack. You really want a bit more attack. Oh, that is a... Oh yeah, true, that is your usual one piece. This one would be nice. So if we run this one... okay, we just lose out on everything, god damn it. Never mind then. Maybe just go for this one. 118... That is gonna frick up that again. This is a nice piece with the big caveat that it has no attack percent sub. That's the biggest problem this piece has. Oh, that is... We can do that. We do need that AM piece back here. 26, 814, 73. So now you're at 100% crit rate. And you have a lot of AP. You're playing... Which teams are you playing, Miyabi? Because if you play with Nangang Yu, this should be much better. Can afford to do that. If you... So the main thing you are missing right now is attack to support this. Miyabi Yuzu Nangong, yeah, okay. Running AP has the highest potential here. The biggest difficulty you run into when you do this is trying to hit attack percent, right? So for most people, the ideal layout would be attack percent, ice damage, AM. That is the ideal layout for most people. The arguably highest potential has AP, ice damage, AM. The problem is you need a lot of attack percent subs to make this work, because you don't want to run around with this amount of attack. So what I would recommend you right now is attack percent in D4. Try to hit 3k attack stat screen. Ideally, you can hit more, right? You can hit 3,200, like you don't really have too many diminishing returns. And if you can, you know, if you just run attack percent right now, you still have like your 300 AP, which is really good. So that's like the one thing. Actually, would you be interested in pulling one here? Why not? That depends up to you. Like, I don't really care too much. Gonna be substat dependent anyway, right? Could also run this one and hope that it... Right, let's see how this rolls before we do anything. Okay, never mind. Go for it. Alright. We do want Woodpecker, I guess. Or what we could also just quickly double check. Let's actually do this one here and go for attack percent branch and blade. Branch and blade. Percent attack. Surely that cannot go wrong. I mean, that is not bad. Nice. That could not have been much better, actually. Outside of like a little bit crit damage maybe, but well then. Me BB, where are you? There you are. So 75, you're overcapping on crit rate now. 3, 1, 3, that looks pretty good. Now you want less crit rate. No, you don't want less crit rate. 15 plus 12 is 9. No, you do want less crit rate. Fuck. 73. How do we get less crit rate than this one? Without sacrificing anything. Here. We could run this one AM piece here. Damn it. Yo, Dalico, thank you so much for your prime. Much appreciated. Thank you. Thank you. Welcome, welcome. So, what do we do here? Actually, we can just run this one, I think. 70, 100, 9, 32, 300 AP. Yeah, ideally we would want to switch off Woodpecker, but I think that is gonna be very hard, to be fair. So, I'll prefer Hormone. And that's kind of it. There are not really many AM pieces that we have that we can use here. We could go for like an AM branch and blade for something over here, but then we will need like good subs on the other pieces here, which we don't really have too many of. Okay, we have a Hormone Punk here we could use. Ideally, we would want an ice damage piece here as well, but I mean, that is secondary for now. Feel free to roll. Okay, I'm not gonna roll for this part because if you want to run ice damage here in that slot, right? You want ice damage with crit rate and attack percent subs. That is what you're looking for. And you want to make... That is the minimum. Which means you will need 2 selectors for the substats, right? So 4 of the special resource plus 1 for the main stat. And you do not have that. Because of that, I'm not gonna roll for it. And I also don't think it is worth it right now. You know, I'm just gonna basically write down here. Ideally, ice damage D5 with crit rate or crit damage. Can you probably do a crit damage attack percent, which might be better because your crit rate is pretty good already, and you can just switch around one of these pieces. I forgot. Yeah, this one. You can just switch around this piece. And instead of using the AM one with crit damage attack, you can use the AM one with crit rate. Which basically just makes up for the crit rate you would lose on the other side. And that allows you to run ice damage with crit damage attack percent here. And your ideal substats would be anomaly, like ice damage, right? And then anomaly proficiency, attack percent, crit rate, and crit damage. And then all of your rolls ideally go into attack percent, basically. That's like the ideal thing you could do. You can also get a little bit more crit damage if you want to, but especially with Nangang Yu, only like 25 to 30% of your entire damage profile is from the your enhanced basics. So the crit damage matters less. It still matters, but it matters less. All of your damage basically comes from your disorders. Or at least a good part. So the AP and attack is much more important. And attack is gonna influence all of that anyway. So, that being said, we have Yanagi, who is dead. Okay. We don't have Yanagi. Sokaku. No, we don't have Sokaku. Seed. 73. You do have M2. Yo, Mace AP. Welcome, Raiders. Welcome in. Hello, hello. Welcome. Hope you have had a good stream. Hope you have had a good stream. How are you doing? Thank you so much for the raid. Much appreciated. How the fuck does the shoutout? The one time that my mod is not here. God damn it. There we go. Oh, I have to do everything myself. God damn it. You did? You just got Nangong and you built her right away? Nice. Nice. Yeah, Nangong is just broken. Ridiculous character. Well, I hope that you enjoy her. So, you know, we are currently in the process of making an account review here. We went through some things, so going towards the end. Thank you for all your amazing too. Well, thank you, much appreciated. I'm happy if they help. I'm happy if they help. So, we have, you are at 73 plus 15, so you are at 88 crit rate, which is fine. Your crit damage is looking for, your attack is pretty low. Which is arguably, I mean, that is a nice piece. I would run that too, even if it has no attack percent subs. Your biggest issue is that you are missing attack percent subs, right? All of these three, I mean, this one cannot have, but all of these two do not have attack percent subs. And this one doesn't have either, and this one has no rolls in it. So your biggest issue is not having the attack. It depends on which team you play her in. If you play with Orphe, it would be just fine, but since you do not have Orphe, you would play with a Sisia. And Trigger, for example. You could also do Sisia Sona, in that case it's good, or Sisia Astra. Honestly, it's probably fine. It's probably fine. I think the best thing you can still do is get more attack percent subs. It's never gonna hurt you. But otherwise, that is good. I probably wouldn't really change it, I guess. It will be Seed Sisia Astra. Okay, in that case, you're at 3648. I would probably try to hit like 2800 attack on her, something like that, so that you can hit like 5k in combat. But otherwise, it's fine, right? Anything else here is just good. It, you know, depends on how much you like Seed. So, it's a small optimization, right? 2.8k attack. It doesn't really matter too much. Don't focus too much on this. It really doesn't matter that much. Yo, CK King, hello. Kes Simo, hello, hello. Question, how do you submit for one of these reviews? You join the Discord server, and then there is a review queue. However, currently we have the free one closed because there are like 100 people I have to go through. And every time I do one review, there are like 5 new people coming in. That is not effective. Who do you play Soldier 11 with? Do you play with the Yuzua? Oh, currently I run Soldier 11 with her. Okay, so the problem Soldier 11 has is, unless you run Yuzua, you have a really, really hard time maintaining Inferno Metal. So Inferno Metal is arguably not a good set on her unless you run Yuzua or a triple fire team such as Soldier 11 plus Lighter plus Yuzua, Jufufu, anything. Even Lucy. But otherwise you have a really hard time maintaining the fire anomaly, especially because of the new bosses like having higher resistances, higher anomaly thresholds, all of that. Because of that, Inferno Metal is surprisingly not that great on her. Your stats in itself look pretty good, except for the fact that you are running Inferno Metal, which gives you 28% crit rate. And 90% plus 28% is a lot more than 100%. People play Soldier 11. Yes, Soldier 11 is pretty great, actually. Which means we are gonna get rid of your Inferno Metal. Not in the sense of we are trashing it. We are looking to get something else. Get this one here. You're running currently crit damage, which makes sense. You could actually run attack as well. Yeah, this is a little bit of a problem here. You know what? We are going with this one, I think. 2997, 155. Now your attack is too low. You could go for an attack percent here. Attack percent main stat could actually work out. You want more attack now. The problem is that's a really good piece. I would just run that as well. That is not something we're gonna change. Oh wait, you actually run attack percent here already. Oh! You're running double attack percent. Like no attack substats. Yeah. Okay, you definitely need more attack substats. That is otherwise not gonna be that great. Three 140 94. That is slightly better. You get 48% crit damage here. You get. Do we have puffer electro pieces? You do. But you're currently running Soldier 11 with her, you said. However, you're not gonna do that when Sissy is out, I guess. So I would probably switch to a Puffer Electro and then run her with Dialin or something. But we're gonna keep it as is for now. You're not overcapping on crit rate anymore. Arguably, you lose some stats here. But because you get like now the 4-piece attack combat here, it's gonna be better than before. You really want more attack though. But it's not bad. You have no attack subs here, no attack subs here. And here you're running currently attack rather than pen ratio. I mean, it's fine for now, right? S11. More attack percent subs. Pen and D5 if you can. But before you can switch to the pen and D5, you will need more attack percent subs, specifically like better pieces here. Here. On these two pieces. Arguably even here. Because otherwise you're losing out on too much attack. But yeah. You don't have that build, but you have that build. 28800. Okay, your attack is pretty low. I would recommend you to switch to an attack percent. Oh, it's not even leveled. Do you care about your Nicole at all? Like contest disc with Fufu? Okay, fair enough. Do I care about your Nicole at all? Because it's not leveled. You never use Nicole. Okay, fair enough. And anything else is unbuilt. So I think let's do one last run here. Oops. Well, there, 10 polychromes. So yeah. What disc 6 should I get for my Lucia if she can have 24k HP without HP does? You can run ER. You can run ER or something instead. You can also run like crit rate slot 4 or something, or ether damage slot 5, pen ratio slot 5. There are many ways of what you can do. Oh yeah, M2. How the fuck does one play M2 here? One parry here. So, can we get a parry on Fufu? That would be great, thank you. Da, da, da. Da, 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 da. That was actually bad, anyway. Oh my. Nobody saw that. Nothing happened. Nothing happened! Playing M2 Yishunguang. Yijuan, not Yishunguang. Oh, much better opening. So... Do you aftershock, Lucia? Thank you. Much better. Da. Da. You're cursed by Nekomata and Grace. Nekomata started to feel... Yeah, Nekomata is great though. Love Neko. Oh my god, my parries! What's up with my parries today? I think I have to restart. Yeah, I have to restart. God damn it. Oh. Parries are not my thing. God damn it. I'm not used to M2 Dijon. That feels so awful. Like, I don't know, in Priest for me is like this one thing where I have to play one specific rotation and I cannot deviate from it. If I have to deviate from it, my brain starts not functioning anymore. No! Why did it hit me there? I needed the B5! Also, I had like really good RNG, which was really unfortunate. Because I used like Lucia's EX early here. Because I wanted to have the damage bonus up early, but I guess we're just ignoring that for now. Doesn't really matter here. Can get hit. That's fine. So we do get the corruption proc there, which is nice. Unfortunately, I used my EX special on Neko here, not Neko. What was the name? Yufufu. Wait, what is happening with the parries? What the actual fuck? I'm switching and nothing happens because for some reason I'm on the other side of the map, so the parry... Am I fucking retarded? I think I am, but what the actual shit is happening? Why do I get this RNG right now? Stop it, we are stunning too quickly. Okay, we have to use our ultimate here. Unfortunately. Oh fuck, I missed that one. Well, that is unfortunate. Well. The parries are tilting me. The parries are tilting me. There's the impair. Question is if we can... We don't get to stun here, do we? I don't think we do. Okay, I'm quitting. Fuck this. That's not worth it for an account review. Too early or something. Skill issue. I don't really have anything to say anymore. Here's one. CR. I mean, most of this really just boils down to get more substats, right? Your skills are leveled. You had a few things where you were overcapping on crit rate and stuff, but we fixed all of that. So right now, all that is left is roll more attack percent subs for basically all of your characters. And that's it. So, are there any specific questions that you still have that I have not touched upon? Because I don't think I have anything else to say. Good. Good. Goddamn, the voice crack. I'm gonna send you your feedback right here. Thank you so much for submitting your account. You have Nangong Yu in the overworld, so let's give you a post. Moonfire. Resource management. S. Disc rolls. You missed a lot of attack percent. Of attack percent subs. So A+. Your builds for what you've had were an A-, crit rate overcaps, not enough attack. 23, well, let's just say barely any level 12 skills. Maybe barely is not the right word. 23 hamster cages left. Alright, let's call it that way. Barely might be wrong. You skipped units. I mean, you immediately get an F- for that because you don't have Bernice. But aside from that, it's honestly pretty good. So, it's an F-, no Bernice. Otherwise, it would be an S. So, you know, it is what it is. Your DA scores were, for what you have had, surprisingly low. With the M6 Nangong you should be able to kill if you try a few times. Well, you arguably can do that with M1 already, but, you know. It takes more tries, possibly. So, let's give you an S- here. And your overworld agent choice is Nangong Yu in skin, which is also S-. So, overall, I'm gonna give you an S-. It's a pretty good account. 50-year-old reflexes for the old, that is totally fair. That is totally fair. I'm gonna join you in 20 years on that. In 20 years, I'm gonna join you on that. So, S-, thank you so much for submitting. It's a really good account otherwise, right? Really primarily just the attack percent subs which are missing. And Bernice, you know, like no Bernice is... oh no, there's one more thing I want to touch upon. You have 9 of these, right? So you can get some stuff here. Unless you want to save, right? Unless you want to save. You are also not free to play. So if like the top-up bonus or something comes and you are just gonna buy something, there is a chance that maybe you will get like 2 of them again. If you get 2 of them, get Ina Jane or Bernice, depending on what you want. You have Alice, to be fair, but, you know, Jane is fun to play. None of these characters here is where I would argue, oh shit, you should get them. I would never get the standard characters because you can lose to them. Then you're 50-50, so you're gonna get them somewhen anyway. So I would rather get one of these 3. I personally would obviously like Bernice because I love Bernice. However, arguably Jane is the better choice. And if you do that, you have Practice Perfection, so Sharpened Stinger is not really needed. I would probably, if you go for Bernice, get Flamemaker Shaker. If you want a good generic stun engine, get HFG, even copies are good. And you are much less likely to lose your 75-25 to these things, right? Weeping Cradle is also very good. Brimstone is very good. I would not recommend Restrained and Steel Cushion. Fusion Compiler has a niche. But I would probably just get Weeping Cradle or Brimstone copies if you would want to. For now, probably better off to hold off. If you decide to get Bernice somewhere, you definitely want a W engine. Especially with potentials. That being said, thank you so much for submitting your account. Much appreciated. So, we have a 5 AM. If we are quick, we can do one more. We can do one more if we are quick. I just cannot take another 2 hours. Okay, so this is gonna be a quicker account review. Jetty, have you spent your 320? Have you spent your 320 batteries? You spent 220. Okay, insane. Freaking insane. Have you also done something with the resources you've gotten? Have you done something with that? Or did you just spend them to not have them anymore? Zero good discs. I kinda beg to differ. If you spend 220 that you get 0. You have to tell me if you spend your stuff and you have now a lot of resources and a lot of discs that have the potential to be leveled. I would probably like to take a little bit more time for your account rather than like 30 to 40 minutes. So depends on you. Either we do you now if you want to, or we go for somebody who is probably doesn't have like a million resources left over now. Alright, then DM me your stuff. I'm gonna quickly go and get something to drink. And then we're gonna do your account in a few minutes.
All I ever wanted was you, but you left me alone inside these empty, broken walls. And I can't see it clearly, but it's obvious. I know that you left me alone inside this empty, broken hall. And now you'll be the reason why my soul is tainted. Somebody help me, 'cause I'm feeling trapped and I don't know what to do. There's no one to save me from this hurt I feel deep within my bones. Did you ever think of me and see the things I did? Sold my soul and everything, I was to the lowest bid. Crawled into your poison dome, yet every single time you got into my mind, you got into my mind. But all I ever wanted was you. But you left me alone inside these empty, broken walls. And I can't see it clearly, but it's obvious. I know that you left me alone inside this empty, broken hall. And now you'll be the reason why my soul is tainted. So how can I fix this? 'Cause I need to stop the aching in my head. My heart is breaking. Yeah, I'm tired of being stuck in the past. Did you ever think of me and see the things I did? Sold my soul and everything, I was to the lowest bid. Crawled into your poison dome, yet every single time you got into my mind, you got into my mind. But all I ever wanted was you. But you left me alone inside these empty, broken walls. And I can't see it clearly, but it's obvious. I know that you left me alone inside this empty, broken hall. And now you'll be the reason why my soul is tainted. The reason why my soul is tainted. You're the reason why my soul is tainted. You're the reason why my soul is tainted. You're the reason why my soul is tainted.
So, I love this song as well. It's great. So, let's do it, Jetty. You already had 34 subs on your DPS and the required sets for support. Yeah, well, but you can improve improve your supports more. So, let's do that. Quite sure we do not need the verification code anymore because we have had that yesterday. Yep, we are in. Please delete your login data. Thank you. You are on EU. I see. Somebody else also doesn't have a sleeping schedule. So. I'm working right now. At 5 AM, damn. Well, whatever time you have. So, Evelyn, let's check. You actually spent them. Nice. You still have some backup battery. That's okay. You have a lot of pulls. Oh, holy. All right. Oh, holy. And you are free to play even. Oh, wait, you can't see. Whoop. M0, 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 M2 YSG, M1 Fufu, M2 Yijuan, M2 BB, Apinis, and you have everything built up until Lycon, okay. So, there are not a lot of characters, so I think we can do this. I was just, when I saw the amount of pulls and bang boosts you had, I was like, oh shit, if you have like every character and every character built, that might be a bit difficult, but you actually can probably switch this and get a better score. Okay, so, let's start off with the bang boos. So, generally, right, you have R5 Rocket Boo, great for Bernice, otherwise whatever. Sprout is fine. You won't be Lion at R3, right? You don't have Vivian, so that doesn't matter. You might want to consider Biggest Fan as well. So that is something you can do. Spend your Boopongs first to get an R3 Lion. Gonna select it for you. You can do that after, right? If you have R3 Lion, you can either go for R5 or get a few different ones. It's never have to have like a few different ones. Priority, focus on R3 Lion, then R3 Biggest Fan. You can write it down. Bang Boop Prio. R3. What was the name? Lion. R3 Fan. R5 Fan. You can also go for Snap, but I mean, this really does not matter. Like, if at all, R5 Snap someone, but also that is not really necessary. You don't have Robin at all, though it doesn't matter. You can go for Resonable Mercury. Berkblick might be useful. So let's do R3 Berkblick and then R5 Fan. That is probably what I would do for now. You can get like also different ones if you want to, right? Rather than this or get this R3, get like different ones first. I think this is pretty good, depending on what you want to play. You do have all of the supports. You have the Void Hunters. You have the Stunners. You skipped entirety of Obel Squad, so it's whatever. You skipped Vivian. You skipped Ardea. But you do have both Asuna and Nangong. Bangbos are just for show? No, they can make a pretty good difference. Depending on the Bangbo and team, between 2,000 to 5,000 points in score. So, it's more than noticeable. So, 2-8, 3-3-2, 2-1, that doesn't look all too bad. M0, so you're running attack percent here, that is fine. basically get more substats, and that is kind of it. Yeah. Your skills look just well. That is good. Your sonar is at 3.5, ER2. You're running Cradle. So... you don't have ADA. It's fine. I don't really need to note down that something here. You're running ER as well, so it's good. You can consider going for Kaboom if you want to. But that is mainly an ADA thing, so that's fine. Looking good. You have 85, means you do not have signature. You're running HFG. That is good enough. Get more substats, I suppose. This is probably the biggest piece you can increase. Actually, well, good morning. Daily reset. Let's have a quick look what you have. Yeah, you have a lot here, right? You have also a lot here. You probably want to clean up a little bit, right? So we are gonna see later what you can do. But what you can consider here is like an ER with crit rate. Something like this. And then try to get more crit rate rolls. And you're King of the Summit. Actually, what I would probably recommend you is don't go for King of the Summit. Go for Moonlight Lullaby. Go for ER, crit rate, crit damage. So, Elfie. For Elfie, I would probably, so, well, how do we name this? Elfie. Let's just call it Elfie. Moonlight, ER, D6. With CR plus attack percent or crit damage. Both fine. That allows you to use it on... So the ER part on Moonlight is just really good, right? You can use it on a lot of different characters. And with the crit rate and crit damage substats, you can use it on a lot of different stunners, such as Dialon. You can also use it on, for example, Lycaon. Even though Lycaon does prefer impact, but you can do it, right? And you can also use it on basically most supports. Which is why I would prefer Moonlight here over King of the Summit. And that way you can just get rid of these two. Okay, you would need to run... Okay, true, you don't have signature. Wait. That logic is slightly flawed because you don't have signature. Okay, in that case, don't do Moonlight. In that case, do King of the Summit. In that case, also this part is not too important. You could have also used like the Moonlight piece on like Orphe if you would have intended on getting her. But yeah. Otherwise, that looks fine. 2-4, you do have signature. Looks just fine. You have everything leveled here. That looks good. Not much to say, actually. 2A, 230, that looks good as well. You can get up her assist, actually. And factually, you have a lot of attack with AP in slot 4. That is good. That is really good. Very great, Yuzua. 230, 3k attack. You're running Kaboom. Yeah, that is really just good. Not much to say. You can level this a bit if you want, but it's not too important. YSG 52-2-3-5. That is nice. That is very nice. Crit damage, attack, yes. Roll better substats. That's good. Good, Yeshungguang. Fufu, M1, so that looks great as well. You are running attack percent here. If you want to, right? You have resources to spend, if you want to. Impact D6. And on top of that, roll more attack subs. Your attack subs here generally are not bad, but here, for example, because you have M1, you can go down on crit rate a lot. And you can just focus on pure attack. Do you have an impact piece here with... Do you have an impact piece with attack? Yes, you do. 1700. You know what? Here. Let's use this one. And let's have a look at your... Both Shockstar Disco and Astral Voice are fine. That is a good crit rate piece. You don't really have much here. So what we could do is we could run that one here. This one here. 3-5, 43, 93. Great. So now you have still, because you have M1, you get the 12% crit rate. So you had 55% crit rate. Which means that you fulfill King of the Summit's condition. You run Impact now here. And you also have like your attack. So great fufu. That HP tells me you do not have ether damage here, yeah. It's also M2. So your crit rate is fine, but... You are looking for Branch and Blade instead here. You are definitely looking for Branch and Blade. Crit damage. This would be great what you have on your Eve right now. 43. And now we can go here for a crit rate, crit damage one. Crit rate? Actually, can we... We have a crit rate one here. That one has potential, this one has potential. Oh yeah, you have a quite a... Eve has 103% CR. Oh yeah, but that's whatever. We've already about that later. I don't think we want to take away from that one right now. That is also good. Let's use this one, 48 to 376. And hope that this one rolls nicely. Ether damage bonus, 4,562. Can we get one more? Oh, you have like good... Those are nice. That is HP. Do we have an ether damage bonus here by any chance? You do. Well, that could not roll worse. There are a lot of good HP ones, but... Crit rate? Burst Fire, Ether Pen, Ice Pen. Damn it. I really want to run some ether damage here instead of HP. You have like... You lose out on crit damage by not running this, but the ether damage bonus will make up for it. We just need more crit rate now, which is like the biggest difficulty. So... We will revert this one, switch to a Branch and Blade over here. Crit rate, HP... That is here. Crit rate. Crit damage. Crit rate, attack, crit damage. Gonna fish a little bit here. Crit damage. Okay, HP. Okay, we take this. We take that. No questions asked. 60 to 538. That is okay. Now we can go down on crit rate again. And focus on crit damage instead. Do you have an HP percent here? You do. Well, that is not a thing yet. Not ideal. You have so many here. Can do this and go to a crit damage one here again. No, we cannot. Because you don't have one. Damn it. What if we do this? 50 to 566. That is better. Little bit more crit rate. Can continue here because you have so many. There we go. 53 to 562. That is what we're gonna go with. It is basically this. You do have less HP, right? 300 less sheer force, but you have 15% more crit damage. Well, a little bit less than 15. And also you are now running ether damage here. So this is like the piece you can probably improve the most, where you can get like an ether damage one with like not crit damage on it. And then you are able to hit like 170%. To be fair, improve the most means primarily, you know, roll better. Yeah. Evelyn. 7762, your attack is too low. That is really nice though. Crit damage, crit rate +3. Let's switch to this one. Lose a bit crit rate, get more attack. Your attack is still too low. We have more attack. Yeah, we want to switch this one off. We are looking for more attack. Currently you have crit rate +1. Okay, that is easy enough to maintain. Attack percent. There we go. Nice. 447, 72. Better. You want still more attack percent. Depending on how much you like eat, right? Hit around 3.6k attack stat screen. Maximal, well, 70. Ideally, you are at 74.6% crit rate stat screen. And as much crit damage as you can get after that. Ideally 150% plus, right? That is like your top stat goals if you really want to. That are the top stat goals. Please keep in mind that is really difficult to achieve. This is not very easy, right? And you don't just get it randomly. It's hard. You need very good discs for that. Discs like these is what you need. Here you would need crit damage as a sub. To be fair, this has attack +3, so it's really good. That is why we go with this. Can this throw attack percent? No. Well. I don't want to keep rolling here for that small chance. But this is something you can do on Astral Voice, right? You have a lot of double attack pieces here. Roll where you want to roll. And try to get like triple rolls if you can. Something like this, but all of your rolls go into attack percent instead. You can then also shuffle some stuff around, right? Something like this is great. This is probably the piece you can improve the most. Wait, oh, you're running fire damage bonus. Wait. You can go for Branch and Blade here. You had a pen ratio once if you... which you could roll on. This one, for example. God damn it. That one looks good. Is this a showcase of how not to roll? Holy crit rate. Well, attack percent actually. I guess this is in fact a display of how not to roll for your stats. Ah. Crit rate. Maybe there will be a pen ratio HP crit rate scaler somewhere. Just believe, I guess. You can shuffle stuff around though. You have another attack piece here. A good one. A lot of impact. A lot of HP ER. No attack percent, okay. Yeah. That's probably one thing you can just consider, right? Shuffle stuff around, and I would also highly recommend you. You have a lot of Astral Voice pieces. You have a lot of Astral Voice pieces, and you can roll on them. Like, a lot of your pieces here have really high potential, right? A lot of double crits, a lot of crit with attack percent and stuff. And what you should probably focus on is try, you know, you go here, roll once. If this is not attack percent, you just leave it, right? It is still a usable good disc, but for right now you want to have like triple stats on this. So that is something you can do. Otherwise, this is looking better. Astra, 2835, you're running ER, you're running Bashful Demon. Ideally, you would want to run Kaboom. But you need a lot of attack percent subs for that. Which, to be fair, you can get now, right? Moonlight is something you can probably go for. Oh, wait, actually, you can just run this one. Just run more attack. Just run more attack. Oh, this +4. That's good. Do we have an attack percent here with flat attack? You do, right here. You are now 349. That is good. Let's see if we switch this. You're at 3-2. That is great. That is pretty good, but unless you have a +3, no. So let's see if we can improve this one. Flat attack. You're looking for attack percent with flat attack. I think this is worse. 326 it was before. Yeah, slightly. Not much though. Maybe this one. 362. That's slightly better. If you can make use of it, Kaboom is gonna be better than Bashful. So that is probably what you can improve upon. Just try to get like more ER pieces here. Actually, we can have a look on your Astral Voice right now. You currently have... that's not bad. You have another ER piece. Yeah, here. You could use it on Orphe. Flat attack. Okay, AP. I guess not flat attack. Flat attack. Nope. That is attack percent. This one. Yes. Attack percent. Attack percent. That is just worse. Bam. Yeah, just roll all of your ER pieces and hope that you get like good attack percent rolls. You could also actually, yeah, no. You know, that's basically what it boils down to. Or you could, if you do, you have a Moonlight ER piece here. You have a lot of that stuff, but yeah, that's probably the one thing you could do. Otherwise, that's looking just fine, right? That's like the optimization you can do to run Kaboom rather than Bashful here, but it's fine. 70, you're at M2. Wait, did we go through this already? You're running attack, okay. We did not go through this. You definitely do not want to run attack. You definitely and 100% want to run Anomaly Mastery. Especially with Nangongyo. That is really good. So if we run this, your attack is on the lower side. You run attack here, that is great. You have another attack piece here with more attack. Yes, you do. You want to run... You could also run the AP one here. 256. Okay, you have no attack on this one. So that is what we're gonna change. Go down on crit damage, get more attack. Currently attack +2. Maybe this one even. 67, 80, 95. 2-9, that is better. 65 to 9, nice. Now we need a little bit more crit rate. And you're running pen ratio. It's a good piece though, but... We have an ice damage one here. You do. $296, 114, 65. That is great. So this didn't really change. We just really would like this to not roll into HP. Surprise. Can we get attack here? No. A bit more crit rate is what we're looking for now. More... Oh, wait. Can we do that? That is so much better. That is good. That's a really good maybe now. That's a really good maybe now. Yes, we do have the 2-piece now. I just realized that as well. That's why I was scrolling down to look for Woodpecker. That is pretty good. This is probably one of the pieces you can improve upon the most. But I do like this quite a bit. That is good. Yeah, you have like 3k attack. You can get more, right? Like, get more attack. Your crit damage is just right. Your crit rate is perfect. Exactly 100%. Get more AP substats. Try to hit around, like, if you want to optimize, right? That's like, is it necessary? No, it's like optimization stuff. Try to hit around 300 AP stat screen. Get more attack, right?
Drink water, you dehydrated bitch.
Understood. Get as much attack as you can. If you can go up even, you know, like 3,200, that would be sick. Ice damage here is better than pen ratio, but yeah. Why ice damage bonus over attack? I mean, because in the teams you play her in, she's not oversaturated. It is similar, but if you build her right, you run attack percent here. So running attack percent here is not gonna change as much. And also running ice damage bonus here allows you to get attack percent substats again, which is also important, right? If you run attack percent main stat, you cannot get it as a substat, which means you cannot roll. Would we ever want to run pen? Well, if you run two-piece puffer and you are M0. That would be the case when you would want to run pen, but the problem is most people are not able to sustain the substats for that. The best Miyabi teams nowadays are very disorder reliant, which means that a lot of your damage comes from your attack and anomaly proficiency rather than like your EBA 3. And because of that, you are looking for a lot of attack percent substats, anomaly mastery and slot 6, which means that you cannot run attack percent here. The 2-piece here means that you kind of want... If you run puffer here, you're missing like 8% crit rate, which again you would need in the substats, right? So you need like perfect discs everywhere. It is just very, very difficult for most people to sustain a puffer build. Arguably, it is at M0 very good, but 99.9% of people don't have the substats for it. And the current best build would be Anomaly Proficiency, Ice Damage Bonus, and Anomaly Mastery. But It is very difficult to do that. You need a lot of good substats for that. We can actually have a look if you have... Because you have so many branch and blade pieces. Maybe you have an anomaly proficiency somewhere. Here. Attack percent's up. Yeah, attack percent. That has no attack percent. We do need attack percent subs. Attack percent. Okay, that is pretty good, to be fair. But the problem is if we change this, right, our attack is, like, really low. And that is the problem. That is really the problem you run into. That if you do that, you need so many attack percent substats that for most people, you will not sustain it. That's, like, the really one big problem that you have in that case. So I would not recommend it for most people. For basically every person that is ever gonna get an account with you. Basically. It's very unlikely that you have the subs to sustain it. Bernice! You're running ER to PCR, that is fine. Overall, your attack and stuff is very low. Please get her W engine. Your attack is way too low. Are you able to get it, actually? You would be able to get it. It is something I really recommend, especially for P6 Bernice, right? Get her W engine. You can buy it. The new Bernice really appreciates a lot of ER. Because the way of how you play her is very, very heat intensive, which means you need a lot of EX specials. And unless you also run her W engine, you will notice it. You will get 2 to 3 ablooms less if you don't run her W engines. Engine. Otherwise, your attack, like, only signature is not gonna help it, right? But get around 3.2k plus attack in stat screen. And for the anomaly proficiency, as much as you can, basically. You will get from her W engine 50 at W1, I think. But yeah, something you could consider. So this would be like 400-ish. Pulchra. Unbuilt. Nicole. AP call, that's fine. Your attack is also okay. AP looks fine. You're running everything here. That is good. Skills are okay. Labubu is dead. Oh, you're running... I would recommend you a 4-piece Astral Voice or the new set. Zhao. Labubu. 4-piece Astral Voice or Bunny. You know, it makes her easier to build. Lycon, you are running Precious Core. I probably would recommend you a Hellfire Gears or a Steam Oven. Arguably even Steam Oven on him. It's a little bit better than Core, but those are not leveled anyway. I'm not sure if you were aware of that, but let's write it down. Sometimes you just forget that stuff. R5, Steam Oven, level 60, over R5, or level 60. I write the level 60 here because they are not level 60, right? Try to get a R5 Steam Oven. It's a really good W engine. Also for... Steam Oven is also really good for Dialin. So there are a lot of, you know, different ways what you can get here. Otherwise, well... assist... EX... Well, assist and EX to 12. ult to 11. Yeah. Dodge to 7 maybe. Sometimes he will use it. He has sick. Yeah, he has sick, but his sick is bad. So it is like one of the worst choices for Lycon. Don't use it. And everything else here is unbuilt. Alright. Is there anything I'm missing? I don't think so. It is better now with potentials? No, not really. No, not really. It is really not that much better. Is it usable? Sure. Do we have better options? Yes. Are these better options free to play and craftable? Also yes. Restraint is a W engine that you can use on, for example, Trigger or Qingyi or Lighter if you don't have their signatures. That is the best use of Restraint. It is not the best use on Lycon. And that is really important to keep in mind because Lycon does most of his days. Most of the days does not come from his basics. Most of his days comes from his EX and assist. And also even ultimate. All of this does more days than his basics do. His basics are like 20%. On top of that, you already get a lot of increased days here. All of this is like the days percentage that he has in his kit is already highly saturated. So if you can run something here that either gives you more ER for more EX specials, or you can run something that gives you like impact, that is really good. And this one just gives you a lot of days percent, which just saturates really quickly. You get the impact here, right? Sure, but the ER here is just better. And this one gives you combat impact, which just stacks really nicely. You can use it. It's not that this is unusable. But both Steam Oven and Hellfire Gears and basically a lot of other choices, even if you only care about 20k, Fossilized Core, they are better. I mean, let me just pull it up, right? Okay, ads on my own videos. I love it. Yippee. What could be better than ads on my own videos? So, if you look at the damage distribution, right? His basics, that is at P6. Please don't forget that. That is at P6. That is including all of his off-field, well, not off-field, his inactive days. It is much less than his assist, ultimate, and EX special. So, what Restraint does is it buffs these 18%. Whereas other W engines buff everything else, right? And the dodge counter can be somewhere between, you know, depends on how you play. So, and to be fair, his awakening potentials are not really that great either. They give like 3% more days, and that's basically it. Combat impact is fine, but it doesn't really do much. So, and for his weapons, Restraint is here. R5 Restraint is here. Look at how many things are better than that. This is sorted by days, not by damage, right? For damage, Restraint is pretty good. But if you want to have, like, your best choice is like Blazing Laurel. Steam Oven at R6 is 11% more days than his own signature is. So if you care, all you care about is days, Steam Oven is just much better because you get more EX specials. And the EX specials are like a big chunk of his, already a big chunk here, right? Like, it is not that this is unusable. That's not the point. The point is there are many other things that are better. Hope that makes sense. Like, it's not the word. Like, even fucking 6-shooter is better. 6-shooter. The fucking Brick W engine. Arguably, the fucking Demoda battery mark is nearly as good as Restraint. It really doesn't change too much. That is why, for me, the resources you have to put into this to have a worse result than using this one is just not worth it. And this one is cheaper. It's an A rank. You can craft it. You don't even need to lose your 50 or 75-25 to it, or 50-50. But yeah, I think I don't have anything else to say. Jetty, any questions? Anything that I did not touch upon? Take the Bangbu priority with a grain of salt, especially like this one, right? Just do whatever you feel like is right. You can also just get more Bangbus. It's fine. You have the resources. Usually I would not give you these high of requirements, right? For most people, these requirements are too high, and I would not recommend them. The only reason I have them this high is because you have basically infinite resources. That's the only reason why. Great. Then, in that case, let me post you your feedback. Here you go. Let's give you an account grade. What was your overboard agent? Evelyn based. So, resource management. We just forget the first part, right? We forget the first part. It's an S. Your disc rolls were pretty good, honestly. I mean, usually you don't even have attack percent problems. That is a rare thing. Maybe this is the breaking points. S+. Builds. Generally pretty good as well. You have some optimization you can do, but let's be real, it's just really good. Skipped units. You skip Vivian. It's fine. Your skipped units are fine. Your DA scores are, honestly, for your builds, I think they are pretty low. I think for your builds, they are pretty low, because your builds are pretty insane. Yeah, I think you can score much higher. I think you can score much higher. Actually, let me do a quick Miyabi run before we end this. I have not played this forever. Well, I did like 2 runs on like CES, but I'm not really good at playing Miyabi. You're running Attack 6 right now. I would always recommend switching to Anomaly Mastery first and foremost. Everything after that is whatever you prefer. Dun, dun. Oh shit. See, that is why I'm not good. Like, I have always this one thing in mind where I'm like, oh, I want to do it like this. But then I just don't do that. Like, I was like, oh, I'm too slow at realizing shit. If that makes sense. No! God damn it. I'm really good at wasting resources on Miyabi, basically. Actually, we go for a chain here to get the disorder. We are good doing that, I think. You've seen a lot of the Nangong Yu kills run attack percent. As far as I am aware, I mean, I'm not saying that it's not possible, of course. You know, that's no right for me to say that. As far as I'm aware, IM is considered slightly better. Yeah, the rotation is completely scuffed. There's no rotation, in fact. There is no rotation, in fact. Let me get the disorder here, thank you. That should give us another one, great. It is really like... You do not have to try too hard. Go first here. We do our Yuzua chain here because we need the build up. All the dancer killed I've seen been attack 6. Again, all the dancer kills I am aware of are AM. But that doesn't mean that is the only way, right? So I am very sure whatever build we have now on your character is better. You can kill. And you can also kill faster than whatever I did. We had like 3 seconds left or whatever, right? If you know how to play this team effectively, it's fine. It's an M0U. It's an M0 here, not even, like with Kaboom, no signature. We do have the signature here, fortunately, and then M2 BB. But the BB here is pretty good. So, that's the thing. It has me questioning everything, especially because of how different it feels to play with and without it. Yeah, so I feel like attack percent, me BB, feels much worse. It feels much worse to me personally. I don't really like Miyabi, that is why I barely play her. I'm not really deep in her rotations. But I was talking with Lin about that when Nangong Yu was released for like Miyabi rotations and stuff. And he was also pretty sure that AM is better. Then I also was talking with Sayatri. He is also of the opinion that AM is much better with Nangong Yu. So, to me, it feels AM is better because you just get a lot more disorders. But that doesn't, again, it doesn't mean that, you cannot do other things. There are, like, a lot of other ways of how you can play. To be fair, one important thing that might play into this, a lot of the kills that people try to go for with Nangong Yu are sickless kills, right? A lot of the people go for sickless kills currently. So they run like Steam Off on her, for example. And I think that is fucking important because her signature gives her 150 AP. So at that point, running attack percent on Mibibi might actually be better because the disorders are not gonna be that high. Does that make sense? Also, you're gonna just get less disorders anyway. You're shifting away damage from the disorders towards Mibibi. And just make use of Nangong's stun capabilities instead. Yeah, so your DA scores, I'm gonna give you an A+. Your overworld agent choice is based, so let's give you an S-. It's pretty good. Look at that. Sayatri is here. You need to be really aware of your anomaly bars. If you can do that, maybe AM6 will always be better unless M6, but I don't know much about that. I don't know that. You just woke up in your chair. Yeah, you heard Miyabi? Wait, so you just woke up, which means you actually missed my scuffed gameplay. Thank fucking god. We got the kill, but it was scuffed. Well, Jetty, thank you so much for submitting your account. Much appreciated. Hope it has been helpful. And with that, you will watch VOD? No, please don't. Please do not. Please do not. Do we have... Do we have somebody we can raid? Somebody online. Damn, ZZZ today is dead. I don't see anybody who is striking my eye right now. So one thing I'm gonna tell you, chat, if you are going to stream, make sure that whatever you have on screen, I mean, you cannot really control the gameplay, right? But make sure that it looks interesting. That is a way of how you get raids. You know, make sure that whatever you are doing is interesting. Like, starting soon, obviously, I'm not gonna raid this now. Who fucking knows how long this takes? Be right back is obviously also never a good thing. Because keep in mind, if you have a be right back screen, nobody's gonna click on that. Who fucking knows when you're back? This one, I actually cannot click because I don't know, you know. The guy on top? Which guy on top? This guy? What thing is free viewer endgame clears? This one? Which guy? Okay, I mean, probably. Because I don't see too many guys. Oh, you mean, okay, but that's not a guy, that's a girl here, as you can see. And even this is not really interesting, right? Which is also why the rebranding is gonna look very different. But, yeah, we will see. There are a lot of things you can do to, you know, discoverability on Twitch is pretty dog shit. And I really would like to rate, like, some people down here, right? Like, it's really hard to get discovered on Twitch. The main problem you just have is it needs to look interesting. And it is really hard to know whether or not you are interesting from seeing a Nangong Yu chilling over here, no avatar, no face cam. You know, it's hard. Dailies is also not necessarily interesting title. So, I don't know. What about you here? Okay, if that is the only thing you're gonna say, I'm gonna stop right here. Alright, chat, we're just gonna end it. I gotta get ready for work, right? Chat, love you so much. Thank you for the subs today. Take care. See you tomorrow. Have a good one. Thanks for stopping by.